friends, and welcome to Brewing Success, where growth is the mission, change is the reward, and progress is the goal. I am your host, Andrea Gebhardt. I'm a former educator turned passionate entrepreneur whose desire to create impact has never wavered. I have spent the last decade teaching, mentoring, and coaching people on how to create success in their lives and businesses with proven strategies and systems that not only bring about change, but big results. When it comes down to it, teaching is my specialty, leadership is my jam, and inspiring you to live a bigger, fuller life is what I'm all about. This podcast will give you the knowledge and tools you need to brew success in almost any area of your life. You're going to walk away each week feeling inspired, motivated, and ready to step outside your comfort zone and into the next level of who you're meant to be. Now let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to Brewing Success. My name is Andrea Gebhardt. I'm your host, and I am so excited about today's topic because one of the things that I'm truly passionate about outside of leadership is health and wellness. I've been in the health and wellness space for 12 years. I absolutely love all things nutrition and learning about the body and the mind and health and functional health and all of it. My friends and I actually joke that I could legit be a doctor just because, I don't know, I'm constantly learning new things about health and wellness. And whenever friends call and they're talking about their health, and I'm like, have you looked into this? Have you checked into that? Maybe you're experiencing this. And, I just love it. I'm fascinated by it. So today I get to talk about health and wellness with all of you. In fact, today's episode is the Entrepreneur's Edge and the 5 pillars of wellness for high performance. And I'm pumped. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to jump into this information with you because I'm telling you right now, that if you grab a hold of these 5 pillars and you really start to implement them, you are going to become unstoppable. Because before we can, chase success in the outside world, we got to work on the inside aspect of things. We got to be healthy if we want to have healthy businesses. We have to be healthy if we want to be healthy leaders. And there's just so much incredible research these days, and so many people who are more open-minded than ever to really to really open to pursuing health and wellness for so many different reasons. And I just love that. I love that we are living in a world where people are waking up and paying attention and realizing they have more control than they ever thought they did. And how by, paying attention to what you're eating, making choices about what to avoid, getting out there and moving a whole lot more, it's making a huge impact. And why I get really excited and inspired by that is because, especially as women, as moms, there's research that showed that children they develop their exercise habits and their health habits based on what the mom does. And it's probably because the mom is typically the primary care provider, right? They probably spend more time with the mom in the home. So they see and they learn from this. And so it's exciting to know that because women everywhere are really taking charge of their health, they're going to be raising the next generation of healthy, mindful individuals. And I think it's incredible. So let's just jump right into it. So what if I told you that the secret to scaling your success isn't about working harder, but about fueling yourself better? That how you eat, move, rest, and set boundaries has just as much impact on your business as your strategy and skills. Here's the truth. The most successful entrepreneurs, they don't just manage their time, they manage their energy. They don't just chase goals, they protect their ability to perform at their very best every single day. Yet, so many high achievers, and maybe you'll identify with this, are running on fumes, skipping sleep, surviving on caffeine, that would be me, sacrificing movement and calling it hustle. I just did air quotes, hustle. But is it really success if you're overwhelmed, exhausted, and burning out? No, it sure isn't. So in this episode, we're diving into something I created, which are the 5 pillars of health for high performance, the exact habits that separate thriving entrepreneurs from struggling ones. And we're going to break down why food, movement, sleep, relaxation, and boundaries are the ultimate productivity hacks, and how small, realistic changes can actually skyrocket your focus, confidence, and impact. So if you've been feeling drained, distracted, or stuck in a cycle of burnout, this episode is your wake-up call. So get ready to shift the way you fuel your mind, body, and business so you can operate at your absolute best. So let's just dive right into the 5 pillars. So the first of the 5 pillars is food. Food is your fuel for focus and decision making, which as an entrepreneur is necessary. According to research, your brain uses 20% of your daily energy. Just your brain uses 20% of your daily energy. And if you're skipping meals, surviving on processed snacks, and eating junk, your brain is running on fumes. If you indulge in sugary foods and drive-through drinks, you're going to experience mental crashes, decision fatigue, lack of clarity, and mood swings. On the contrary, nutrient-dense foods, healthy fats, lean proteins, complex carbs, they enhance focus, productivity, and emotional regulation. So if you're listening to that and you're thinking like, oh my gosh, no wonder I have brain fog. No wonder I'm tired. No wonder my brain blows out. No wonder. It's because I am eating processed foods, drinking 16, 24, 32 ounces of sugary drive-through drinks. Like, oh my gosh, like I hope you just had an aha moment. So let's talk about what you need to do. Okay. So you need to start the day with protein and healthy fat for steady energy that lasts all day long. That's breakfast for ages has been the most important meal of the day, but somewhere we got our minds a little mixed up about what breakfast foods actually have to be. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I have a little hang up here. Like breakfast, probably because I grew up eating cereal for breakfast. Breakfast to me, there's certain foods that count as breakfast, like donuts, cereal, French toast, waffles, pancakes, eggs and bacon and hash browns or potatoes, toast, bagels, right? You name, like, think about it. Breakfast foods. Those are ideal breakfast foods. Pastries. They're not ideal, but they're what we think are ideal. And I want to challenge you to kind of ditch the breakfast food mindset and instead think, well, how can I get in more healthy protein and fat at the beginning of my day? And sometimes that's so counterintuitive. I was on a Zoom coaching one of the people that I'm mentoring, and he was literally with a container eating bison and I was like 9 a.m. and I go, oh my gosh, what are you eating? And he was like, bison. I was like, at 9 a.m.? Like you're eating a buffalo at 9 a.m.? Like it just, really? And he was like, yeah, protein. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so weird. And it's like, even I still have that like mental hang up about what breakfast should really be. And you want that first meal of the day to be something that is substantial, that is designed to fuel your body. We want that protein. We want those healthy fats. We want those complex carbs in the morning so that it provides meaningful fuel throughout our entire day. So you want to start the day with protein and healthy fats for steady energy. And then you want to avoid sugar and high carb quick fixes. Why? Because they lead to crashes. So we want to avoid the high sugar and the higher carb. And listen, I love a good Starbucks coffee. I love a good drive-through coffee. But we got to start paying attention to what those drinks contain and what those sugary snacks contain. And I can give you a couple of good rule of thumbs here when it comes to snacks. First of all, if you don't have to unwrap it, it's probably healthier. If you have to unwrap it, it's going to have some junk in it. We know that processed foods are full of things that lead to blood sugar spikes and blood sugar crashes, lead to us actually not even being fully satiated and getting hungrier as the day goes. And so when it comes to snack, I love to follow the 5-5-10 rule. So that means that we want to have something that has at least 5 grams of protein as a snack, 5 grams of fiber, and less than 10 grams of sugar if you're going to be eating a snack. Start to use that to help you make better choices. When it comes to sugar, and this isn't even like an accurate thing, like it's not even true, but in my brain needed to be able to visualize what sugar looks like. So in my brain, I equated 1 gram of sugar to 1 M&M. So if I look at, a Starbucks drink and it has 36 grams of sugar, then to me in my brain, I equate that to like 36 M&Ms. Would I sit down right now at whatever time of day it is and just eat 36 M&Ms? The answer is no. So when I think about that, sometimes what it does is it redirects what I'm going to reach for. It redirects what I'm going to put in my body. And I have those rules for myself because if I didn't, I would go back to where I was 12, 13 years ago, 50 pounds heavier, chugging caffeine 24/7, taking naps in the middle of the day, being exhausted, being cranky, being irritable because I wasn't fueling my body properly. And so we want to make sure that we think about things that way. And the best way to circumvent staying away from those sugary things or those processed foods is just pre-planning. Know in advance what you're going to have for your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. Know in advance what snacks you're going to have for that day. Taking that tiny little step is going to prevent you from overindulging. And then lastly, stay hydrated. Here's something crazy. Did you know that 2% dehydration equals a 30% drop in your ability to focus? Maybe you don't have ADHD. Maybe you're just dehydrated. When I read that stat, guys, when I read that fact, I was like, what? Maybe I don't have ADHD. Maybe I'm just dehydrated. Oh my gosh, 2% dehydration equals a 30% drop in focus. Wow. That in and of itself motivates me to want to drink more water. So if you've ever tried to close a deal hangry or get started or work on a project when your tummy is growling, you know that it doesn't ever end well. Food impacts patience, communication, and confidence. So hopefully, as I'm sharing this with you, you're having several aha moments as you realize how your food choices in the past have played a role in your level of productivity that day, and what small changes you can make when it comes to food to make improvements for yourself. So when you think about starting your day, when you think about avoiding the sugar and the processed stuff, when you think about staying hydrated, where's an area there that you need to make improvements? And just start to work to implement it immediately. All right, so that takes us to pillar number 2, which is movement. Movement creates confidence and mental clarity. I always tell people, you're not tired. You just haven't moved today. And I see it a lot on the weekends. The kids sleep in, they hang around in their pajamas, they play video games, they're reading books, they're doing all this stuff. And it's like 3 or 4 o'clock, they're like, man, I'm so tired. I'm like, no, it's not that you're tired. You've just been a lazy bum all day long. You haven't gotten outside. You haven't moved your body. You haven't done anything yet. You're not tired. You just haven't moved your body. Movement, as you know, boosts dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, which are known as the success chemicals. So the more you incorporate movement, the more success you're going to start to have. Why? Because when you make movement a daily habit, you make room for other small habits that build upon each other to generate forward momentum and movement over time, leading to progress. When you get stronger, when you lose weight, when you reach strength goals, you remind yourself of the power of progress and that you are indeed capable of making changes which empower all other aspects of your life. Exercise increases cognitive function. It's proven. It's proven. They have been able to prove that walking 4 miles a day, so it'll probably take you about 30, 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how fast you walk. Walking 4 miles a day decreases your chances of early death by 50%. Walking every single day actually increases the sign of the amygdala in the brain. It's actually shown to diminish the chances of dementia and Alzheimer's. Movement increases cognitive function. Moving isn't just about keeping your heart healthy and your body healthy. It's about keeping your brain healthy. And I don't know if you guys know this, but your brain, without it, you can't really live. And it's responsible for everything about you. So you want to take good care of it. So it's been proven actually that leaders who exercise perform better under stress too. So movement enhances posture, energy, and confidence, all key for showing up in business. So what do you need to do? You need to schedule non-negotiable movement daily, even if it's just a 10-minute walk. Okay. Why, schedule it. Did you know a 10-minute walk can actually increase creativity by 60%? By 60%. So if you're feeling stunted or you're feeling like you can't think of any good ideas or come up with anything, get outside, go walk for 10 minutes and watch what happens. Second thing, use movement to reset your mindset. If you're stuck in a negative spiral, if you're in a funk or a certain mood or your mindset just isn't where it needs to be, get outside, move your body, or do what I do. Put on your favorite jam and rock out. I have a few songs that I'll be like, Alexa, play this or play that. And I literally get up, sing my little heart out. My dogs look at me like I'm crazy. I dance all around the kitchen and I instantly just feel better. And then lastly, get outside, especially if you're working remote, especially if you're working from home, especially if you have a tendency to hunker down at that one little desk all day long. Fresh air and sunshine immediately improve your physical and mental state. I'm going to say it again. fresh air, and sunshine immediately improve your physical and mental state. If you've ever been in a slump and taken a quick walk and suddenly had the best idea ever, now you understand why that happens, because motion creates momentum. My advice, find a format of movement you truly enjoy and make it a part of your daily routine. Whether you go for a walk, you join a Pilates studio, you swim laps in your backyard, you go for a jog, you hit the gym for a spin class or body pump session, whatever it is, just start to incorporate it into your day. Regardless of what you decide to do, remember that strong bodies contribute to strong minds, and strong minds contribute to stronger, more effective leadership. So let's talk about pillar 3, sleep. Oh, you'll find out why I'm giggling here in a second. So here's what we know. Sleep can either vastly improve or wreak havoc on your memory, mood, and mental endurance. And you know it. The days when you got great sleep, you wake up feeling great, you have a great day. The days you didn't get such great sleep, you start off behind and nothing ever seems to get better. So they say that a lack of sleep is the silent business killer. And we know the dangers of not getting enough sleep when it comes to our overall health. Sleep is the ultimate reset from day to day and required to do your best work and be your best self. And listen, this is so crazy coming from me, because I used to wear my lack of sleep like a badge of honor. I would brag that I would only need 4 to 5 hours of sleep a day. Like it made me some kind of superwoman, yet I was overcompensating with caffeine. I was moody. I felt overstimulated when it came to my kids. And there were many mid-afternoons when I would literally feel my body start to shut down. And all I could think to do was lay down, and I would literally pass out. It was a never-ending cycle. And I always just felt like super crappy. And the crazy thing was I was still productive. I still got things accomplished, and I still built my first 7-figure business and income in spite of all of it. But at what cost? My overall health, my sanity, my ability to be the best mom. And it wasn't until 2017 when I hired a coach, and he pointed out that I was being held back, not by any limiting belief or lack of ability, but a lack of sleep that he believed was suppressing my potential. And he challenged me to prioritize my sleep for 30 days and report back. And let me tell you, it wasn't easy. I was challenged to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep each night. And I literally had to train myself to do it. I got the sleep health app and I set a bedtime on my phone. And at first it started at like midnight, because I would literally stay up till like 1 or 2 in the morning and get up at like 5 or 6. It was crazy. I still look back and cannot believe I did that to myself for so long. So I started just scheduling it back, right? Like every day. One night it was like, okay, cool. Be in bed by midnight, or 1 a.m. And the next night it was be in bed by midnight, then 11. And I worked myself down to 10 p.m. Like physically get your body in bed. Don't be on your phone. Sure, you can read, but nothing else. Fall asleep, sleep. And it was really interesting to not only have the app like kind of like measure my sleep and quality of my sleep, but how like immediate the changes were. How immediate, I mean, it was crazy. And now here we are, fast forward this many years later, and my bedtime thing goes off at 9 o'clock. And at 9 o'clock, it all gets shut down. And that's when I kick off my bedtime routine. And I'm usually in bed by about 9:30, and now I'm asleep by like 10, which is amazing. And then I'm getting so much sleep. Like I'm at the top, like I feel awesome, and it's incredible. And it's, again, amazing how much of a difference it made. And so, you know, I think back to that point in time when I was challenged to do this sleeping thing. And I remember reading something on the internet, and it was a stat that said that sleeping less than 7 hours a day can actually increase your cancer risk by 60%. And just learning that one thing, by me choosing not to sleep, by me only getting X amount of hours, I'm choosing the risk of cancer. I don't want to choose that, right? And that made me get my butt into gear, because I may not be able to control all of the environmental risks, but I can control this one. And you know what I discovered through all of it? I love to sleep. And this was a huge revelation for me. I used to say that sleep was boring, and I would sleep when I was dead. And let me tell you, had I kept on that scarce sleep situation, that time could have come a whole lot faster. But I was waking up less tired, better energy throughout the day, less unhealthy food cravings. I was having less midday crashes. I was feeling more balanced, way less irritable, way more focused. Everything in my life got better when I made sleep a priority. And it's no surprise, sleep debt results in a 40% drop in problem-solving ability. And research shows that leaders who sleep 7 to 8 hours every night make better decisions than those who sleep less than 6. So every minute of sleep makes a big difference. And the more sleep we get, the better quality sleep we get, the more REM sleep we get, which is important because REM is what enhances memory retention and creativity. So here's what you as an entrepreneur need to do. You need to prioritize your bedtime routines. Ditch screens 30 minutes before bed. Set up the sleep mode on your phone. Make a goal to be in bed phone free by a certain time and lights out by another, and start to really train yourself in that area. Second, treat sleep as a strategy for high performance, not a luxury. Sleep is part of your strategy. That's kind of exciting. And stop. Can we just please, as high performers, can we please stop glorifying exhaustion? I'm so tired. I'm so overwhelmed. Can we stop glorifying it? Sleep is a productivity tool, not a weakness. Have you ever woken up after 4 hours of sleep, you over-caffeinate, and then you start to stare at your screen and you're like, what am I even doing? And you just feel like a zombie. That's sleep deprivation in action. We're going to change that. Rest is best, and rest will always bring the best out of you. So get your Z's, my friends, because it matters. So that takes us to pillar number 4, relaxation. Say it with me, relaxation. The ability to relax, you see, contributes to resilience and long-term commitment. Listen, you busy little bumblebee. The pause is part of the progress, and breaks are just as significant as breakthroughs. You know what they say, all work and no play makes Jenna a dull girl. Remember that relaxation brings balance. It offers stillness and can incorporate more fun and joy into your life, which is what results in increased happiness and a sense of fulfillment. The science on this very topic speaks for itself. It's been proven that chronic stress shrinks the prefrontal cortex, making you worse at decision-making. Mindfulness and relaxation increase problem-solving skills by 37%. And entrepreneurs who take intentional breaks avoid burnout and simply perform better. But here's the challenge. Somewhere in our brains, we have formed the belief that taking breaks, taking time away, putting the work down is lazy. We actually struggle. Have you ever struggled with feelings of guilt or shame when you're not being productive? I know that I have. That's a big one that I'm constantly working on. We struggle with downtime. And we feel this strong urge to get right back to work. What we need to learn to do is to slow down, to pause and be still. It's here that we connect with our truest selves. Here where we can listen to our intuition, and here where we can reflect and think clearly and critically on things to make the necessary changes that we're seeking. It's here that we have the opportunity to connect with what makes us truly happy, whether it's a stroll on the beach, your favorite book in a cozy blanket, or a weekend away with the girls. When you put it all down, you put yourself and your needs first. And after you get used to it, you begin to value the restorative aspect of it, and over time, the transformative aspect of relaxation and how it contributes to the bigger picture. We have to be intentional about making time to take breaks, schedule time for things we love to do, and disconnect from the stress and the pressures of everyday life. As an entrepreneur, you have my permission to relax. Relaxing is part of the process. Relaxation, you need to build it into your strategy. Breaks, like I said, are just as important as breakthroughs. We have to disassociate from shame and guilt that's probably tied to trauma, childhood trauma of, needing to do a whole lot to get recognized and to be seen as a child and young adult. We need to let that go and understand that when we give ourselves permission to relax, we also give ourselves permission to perform at a higher level. So here's some ways that you can begin to add more relaxation to your life. Schedule breaks before you experience breakdowns. Remember, if it feels like it's too much, it probably is. Lay it down, walk away, come back to it when you're ready. It'll still be there. You can use breath work, meditation, or downtime to reset your nervous system. Do this often. We need it way more than we realize. And remember that recovery fuels performance. So plan a getaway, turn off your phone for a weekend, and indulge in a hobby that makes you happy. Relax. Take some time to relax. And if people around you are telling you need to relax, you need to take a chill pill, there's a reason they're saying that. You're probably high strung, stressed out, like running around like crazy, and they see it on you before you see it in yourself. So when you're hearing that, you need to relax. You need to take a break. You need to take a chill pill. Take that as a sign that you probably due for one and put it on the calendar. All right. Last but not least, we arrive at pillar 5. I rhymed. Boundaries. Boundaries help us with energy management and vision. And what you say no to determines what you can say yes to. People always get a bit prickly when the discussion turns to boundaries because for whatever reason, we feel like they can be harsh and push people away. However, here's what I want you to know and understand. People who accept and respect your boundaries accept and respect you. Keep those people around. The others, the people who don't accept and respect them, well, they feel offended and they have their own baggage to sort through because they take your boundaries personal rather than realizing they're in place because it's what you need and because it's what's best for you. Those people, they're not your people. They're takers. Separate yourself from them. They're not for you and they never will be. Boundaries matter because without them, you deplete willpower. Boundaries allow you to protect your physical, emotional, and mental health by clearly defining what you are comfortable and not comfortable with, allowing you to say no when necessary and assert your needs in interactions with others. Setting boundaries is a form of self-care, which results in healthier relationships. It reduces stress, it improves communication, and empowers autonomy. Saying yes to everything leads to resentment and exhaustion. Entrepreneurs who protect their time and energy have higher confidence and business longevity. So if you're trying to determine what your boundaries are, ask yourself, what do I need? What matters to me? What's important to me? Boundaries are in place to protect you. If people have an issue with them, then they have their own issue. They have their own issues that are not your problem, right? We don't want to associate with those kind of people. We're going to separate ourselves from them. So when it comes to setting boundaries, here's what entrepreneurs need to do. You need to set work cutoff times. Yep, work cutoff times. Rest is productive. Be intentional about your on and your off time. Just because you're self-employed, just because you're an entrepreneur, just because you're building something on the side, doesn't mean you have to do it 24/7. Nobody does. You need to decide when you're going to be on and when you're going to be off, and you need to stick to that because if you try to show up for your business 24/7, anything that stays on 24/7 eventually burns out, and you will too. So schedule your cutoff times. Second thing, stop overcommitting. Every time you say yes, it forces you to say no to something else. So just use this real simple rule of thumb. When somebody asks you to do something, does it align with what you're working on or working toward? If the answer is a yes, then say yes. If the answer is a no, then say no. And I love this. Actually, I have an example. I reached out to somebody recently and asked them if they would be interested in partnering in something and doing something. And they said, "Thank you so much for thinking of me. But right now that doesn't align with what I'm working toward, but please reach back out to me in the future." And initially I was like, oh, okay. I was kind of surprised, but then I was like, wow, that's amazing. She's so clear on where she's going that like, she's not interested in what I have to offer. That's really incredible. That's really great. And what that does for her is it just keeps her on track because sometimes we have a tendency to have helium hands and want to say yes to all the things. But when we say yes to all the things, sometimes it keeps us from being able to say yes to the things that really matter. So stop overcommitting. Thirdly, protect your creative time. Block out time for strategy, vision, and personal growth. Have you ever gotten an urgent message at like 10 o'clock at night? You drop everything to reply and then realize it could have waited until the morning? Listen, it is your responsibility to train people how to treat your time, and boundaries eliminate that issue, and it keeps you on track with what matters most. My inbox, I wake up in the morning and I've got like 85 notifications. And I'm just like, okay, I don't sweat it. And I love that I have my phone on that sleep mode because I don't see those notifications coming through when I'm trying to go to bed and when I'm sleeping. They're there in the morning. Take me back 5 or 10 years. As soon as I get a ping, I would drop everything and get right to it. Be mid-conversation and get right to it. Be helping my kids with homework and get right to it. That is not healthy. And that's not how you become a successful entrepreneur, business owner, business leader, any of it. So we gotta protect that time. So let's just take a quick second here and be real. High performance isn't about grinding yourself into the ground. It's about fueling yourself to win the long game. And now, after this episode, you have the blueprint. We just walked through the 5 pillars: food, movement, sleep, relaxation, boundaries, the non-negotiables for showing up as your best, most unstoppable self. But knowledge alone won't change your life. As you know, action will. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one pillar, just one, that needs your attention the most right now. So if you're sitting here like, oh shoot, I can't remember what they were and what you said, let me just recap them for you. And you'll be able to decide which pillar needs your attention. Is your energy crashing midday because your nutrition is all over the place? Yes or no? If it is, start fueling smarter and focus on pillar number 1. Are you sitting for hours, feeling sluggish and unfocused? Get up and move more. You're going to focus on pillar 2. Are you constantly exhausted or waking up tired? So you're going to prioritize real sleep, pillar number 3. Are you feeling stretched thin, like your stress levels are running the show? I want you to build in intentional relaxation by giving your attention to pillar number 4. And do you find yourself saying yes to everything and running on empty? It's time to set better boundaries, so make pillar 5 where you start. Pick one pillar that needs your attention right now and start to focus on it. I want you to write it down. I want you to make it real. I want you to commit to one action this week that moves you forward. Because here's the thing, your business, your success, your impact, they're a direct reflection of how well you take care of you. And when you operate at your best, you don't just hit goals. You build a life that actually feels good while you're achieving them. So let's keep this conversation going. Do me a favor, screenshot the episode, share it on Instagram, and tell me which pillar you're committing to this week. Tag me at Brewing Success and at Andrea Gebhart. I want to celebrate you in action. If this episode hit home, leave a review. Your feedback helps more people step into their highest potential. And don't forget, high performance isn't a destination, it's a daily decision. So make yours count. So until next time, guys, fuel yourself, protect your energy, and keep showing up for the life you are building. Thank you for joining me here on Brewing Success. I can't wait to be back with you next time.